I can't believe it, you guys. How could I have missed this one film? Out of all the movies I have seen in terms of action films, but specifically 80s action films, how could I have missed this one? It it devastates me that I didn't catch this one. Now I have seen it. Let's review it.
You got your hands full, kid.
I just think I'm looking at a dead man.
Patrick Swayze.
For that line of work, I thought you'd be bigger.
Gee, I've never heard that before.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, 1889. Because now that we have a remake, we cannot just call it what it originally was because it shares the same thing as the remake. Roadhouse 1989 was directed by Rodney Herrington with a screenplay by R. Lance Hill, although he's under the pseudonym of David Lee Henry, as well as Hilary Henkin, with a story written by David Lee Henry, starring Patrick Swayze, Ben Gazzara, Kelly Lynch, and Sam Elliott. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, a bouncer hired to clean up the Baz honky-tonk in a Missouri town. Armed with a black belt in karate and a degree in philosophy, Patrick Swayze sets out to tame the Double Deuce for its owner. If that doesn't scream 80s, I don't know what will. I have always heard about Roadhouse. For many years, I know what Roadhouse was, but I just never have seen it. I know, that shuns a lot of fans of 80s action films. How could you have not seen Roadhouse? Out of all the things, why not that? I mean, I don't know why I haven't seen it. I love 80s action films, so I'm surprised I just have never watched this film. I would dare argue that I have never seen this classic action film, although when it came out it was panned. But you know what? That doesn't matter. Screw the critics. It's us action fans that should know what's up. Now I haven't seen the film, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think it's okay. I have enjoyment with this film, but it's probably not one of my favorites. If I had to say of an action film, I would pick some other films, but I had a nice, enjoyable time watching this darling of a film. So here are some of the positives that I can give to you guys. Performances are enjoyable. Patrick Swayze is charismatic and as likable as Dalton, a professional bouncer. Which is weird to say that that is your description, professional bouncer. But Swayze brings his energy to this film. Like I said, all the charisma and likability, the badassery of Dalton, Swayze brought it. And rest in peace to Patrick Swayze. I know he died a long time ago, but nevertheless, he was enjoyable to watch in this film, and I had the delight seeing him just be a complete badass. Sam Elliott is fun as Wade, Dalton's mentor. Elliott has the laid back and wisdom that makes him entertaining. He is the most Sam Elliott I've ever seen, especially since that this was early in his career, so it's funny to see him still kind of have the demeanor today. And it's like, oh wow, that's just him. But he is likable in this movie. Both Swayze and Elliott are awesome together. They bring the fun and excitement with this film. Once those two get together, it is just a delight to see these two just play off of each other. I mean, really. They seem to have had the best time while making this movie, and I can say that with a fact. The music is awesome. Having rock and roll music fits perfectly with what the movie is going for. If somebody were to tell me that this did not include rock and roll, I would look at them and be like, how could you? How could you have not add rock? And they did, and boy oh boy is it fun. It just makes the audience bang their heads and fist pump to it. The music in this is actually kind of fun. As somebody who enjoys rock and roll, I personally got a kick while watching this movie, and it was just awesome to hear it. The direction is fun. Director Rowdy Herrington is having a blast with this premise. The film has style and badass moments. Through and through, Rowdy Herrington just makes this movie just a delight and just awesome experience to watch, because of how much he puts a lot of energy into what this essential premise is. I mean, seriously. If I were to make this type of movie, I would kind of make it in the same type of way as Rowdy Herrington did with this film. And I'm glad that he made it the way I thought it would be. The action sequences are amazing. Each fight feels brutal and chaotic. The way characters beat each other up makes for an enthralling experience. The fight scenes in this movie are, I'm not gonna lie, they're actually kind of fun. As much as some of them can be dumb, I think that's just the novelty with this movie is that the fight scenes just can be so enjoyable and so badass, man. That's the only way I can think of when describing this movie. The movie's just badass. The production is amazing. It seems everyone was having a blast while making the film. From the sets, stunts, and locations, the hard work was there. The budget was there for this movie, and it looks incredible, man. It's amazing to see a movie of this caliber actually look of like high quality, and it's just awesome to see how much everyone seems like they were having a fun time with it. The pacing and runtime, I think, is perfect. The film is fast paced with each scene. They fly by this so fast, it's crazy. Think that you would think like, oh, they would have a slow down moment, and they do, but boy, this movie flies by real quick. With a runtime of 1 hour and 54 minutes, it's perfect with that runtime. That is the perfect way that this movie should be. It should not be over 2 hours. God, it was not. Just under 2, almost about 2 hours. And I think that's perfect for what the movie is. Though I had a blast, there are some problems that I saw with this film. I know. Oh no. I'm gonna get so hated by a lot of people with what I have to say, but yes, I do have my problems with the film, you guys. Here are some of the negatives that I found. The villains, I'm not gonna lie, they're cartoonish. I mean, straight up, they are just cartoons of stereotype rednecks. Though the villains just fit the tone of what the movie is, because let's be honest, by the premise alone, I mean, were you really expecting much from villains? But at the same time, they're not memorable, because I can at least think of some villains from movies that are like cheesy as all hell, or at least like so 80s that you remember the villain. Here, I can't really remember them that much, to be honest. They are also, I think, at times way too over the top. There's just moments where I think, although I appreciate it, at the same time, I'm like, they just catapult this movie into just dumb. A lot of the times. Them, especially, they just catapult this movie into being stupid half the time. The romantic subplot is pointless. Both Swayze and Lynch are good together, it's just that subplot is not developed much as they seem to get along really well. I'm watching this movie, I'm like, yeah, I don't think this movie needed it, to be honest. And if it did, it should have been more developed. But honestly, if this subplot was removed, the film wouldn't have changed. It would still have the same outcome, just you remove the love interest. The story is all over the place. Its narrative can go from insane fights and romance to scenes like a monster truck destroying a car dealership. I'm being serious with that. They get a monster truck to destroy a car dealership. It's fun, but I just feel like it's kind of messy when you go from one thing like that to just something romantic to then just all of a sudden this. It's like, this movie's just everywhere. And I just don't feel like it is meshing super well. As much as I am having fun, it just is like scurrying all around corners. And I just think that that's the biggest problem I have with this movie, is that this movie is, its story is just a mess. It is. I also think that the side characters are pretty forgettable in the film. Most of the characters that Dalton comes across don't really stand out. Besides Wade, I just found most of the other supporting members in the film to just forgettable. And I hate to say this, pretty disposable. They're just, they don't really stand out. They all just kind of are there to just be part of the film. And they just don't really stand out for me. Like, nobody just, there's no personality that shines the most in the film. And that's the disappointing part that I found with the film, is that I thought that there would be at least other characters I could be not necessarily hugely attached, but at least enjoy watching. And I just didn't get that with this movie. And that was the disappointing part with it. Roadhouse 89 is a fun and cheesy action film. The movie is a blast, but it's not perfect. I'm like I said, I wouldn't take this movie as being like one of my favorites in terms of an action film, but it's enjoyable enough. Though the story, the romantic subplot, side characters, and villains aren't stellar, it's still a fun watch. If you come across it, I think you'll have a blast with it. It's fun, to say the least. I'm going to give Roadhouse 89 a 6 out of 10. I think it's an okay film. I think if you go in with the right mindset of you just want something dumb and stupid, that's fine. If you're looking for something like revolutionary of an action movie, no. Don't go in with that mindset. If you want to watch a revolutionary action movie, there's tons of them. So I will now have my review soon for the Roadhouse 2024 remake, and soon Ghostbusters. So yeah, look forward to those reviews and other movie TV show reviews coming soon.